to me, it looks like what the Iron Fist show should have been.
What you mean by that is good.
Yeah.
Welcome to Mike Talks Marvel. I'm Mike.
I'm Frank.
I'm Ashley.
And
We're live.
we're live, hopefully less technical difficulties this time, and with an intro, which, by the way, if you've missed our first 3 original audio-only podcasts, by the time we're streaming this, the first episode is on our YouTube channel, and then by the time this uploads, the other 2 should be released, which that fancy intro is also on. So check out our Mike Talks Marvel YouTube channel. Back to you, Mike.
We should point out there that the video aspects of that were done by Frankie here, and the music was done by our good friend Corey Croft, who he has some music out, Corey Croft and the band of Phantoms, and you can find them on Bandcamp or anywhere where you stream music, and you should definitely check them out because they're awesome. By them, I mean him.
Yes. He's featured on our second episode of our podcast.
You sure?
He actually was unable to make that original second episode, so he was our guest, and also under our YouTube videos, all of his social media links and music sharing sites where his music can be found will be in the link description. He's also featured on our channel as a collaborative content creator.
Oh, well, that's a very spiffy term.
Yeah. We're trying to be professional.
We are. Before we get started with, I think the big conversation of the day is going to be Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because that has just really heated up. But before we get into that, I want to talk about some other comic news, if you guys are up for it. First, and I know this show is called Mike Talks Marvel, but I'm going to talk about something that's not Marvel for a second. I just found out that Amazon Prime is working on making a show for the comic series Paper Girls, which was amazing, and I'm so excited they're going to make a show of it. If you're a fan of Stranger Things, you're going to really want to check it out. It's by Brian K. Vaughan, who did a little series called Saga, which is probably like the most beloved comic of the last 20 years. And Paper Girls, I think people really slept on it. It didn't have the impact that Saga did, but it's really great. It's about 4 12-year-old girls in the 80s who have a paper route, and they stick up for each other and defend each other against stuff, and then they somehow end up in the middle of a time travel interdimensional war. So
Wow.
Yeah, it was really cool. I just found out that Amazon Prime's working on that, so that's cool. Then Netflix has Jupiter's Legacy coming out this month, which is another comic series from Mark Millar, who did Kick-Ass, and he did a bunch of The Kingsman. You know him. He's done everything. And then lastly, Invincible just came out on Amazon Prime. It's a cartoon series based off the comic by Kirkman, who did most famous for The Walking Dead, but he's done a million things also. And I have to tell you, Invincible, I just started reading it last week. It's been out for a long time now, and so many people have told me to read it, and I didn't, for 2 reasons. One is because I was led to believe it was a superhero comic for people who don't like superheroes, and I do love superheroes. And also, when people pump things up as like the greatest thing since sliced bread, I almost always don't do it. Not because I'm trying to be an edgelord, but just because I just get turned off by that kind of rhetoric. But in this case, I was wrong. It really is amazing. I started reading it last week, and I'm almost done with it. 144 issues, so it's that good. Like, I just flew through it. It is really good. And what people said about it is sort of mocking the superhero genre a little bit, but it's doing it lovingly. Like, it's totally a fan of the superhero genre. So check it out.
I hear it's like a in the same vein as The Boys, both of which I haven't seen anything of, but I just hear things about. I hear both are good.
Both are great. I wouldn't say they're very similar. The Boys is very a dark take on superheroes, I would say.
I thought Invincible was also supposedly a dark.
It certainly gets really dark, but what makes when it gets dark in the Invincible so much more shocking is that it's also very charming. It's like a really charming story with a lot of heart and characters that you just they're silly and they're easy to like. So when it does get dark and makes those turns, you know it's inevitable and you're horrified. Whereas The Boys, it's Garth Ennis, so you kind of know it's going to be horrible the whole time, you know? Speaking of which, Garth Ennis has a new series coming out soon, too. And I wrote down the name because it's weird and it's funny. Marjorie Finnegan, Temporal Criminal.
Temporal, like time?
Yes. And it looks strange and fun because it's Garth Ennis, so it will be fun. And that's coming out in the next couple months, I think. So, a lot of cool stuff there.
Sure sounds like it.
Also, we have our first comment. TP1701, hello, is what they say.
That's our biggest fan.
Our biggest fan, thank you.
Anyone who wants to comment or ask us questions about comics or ourselves, whatever, send us a chat. We'll talk.
Because remember, Mike talks Marvel. Frankly, Ashley, we talk about a lot of things. So we spent our first few minutes not talking about Marvel. So let's jump into the Marvel.
We do have some Marvel news too, but let's hear what did TP have to say. That's Tony, by the way, who's a fan and a super awesome guy, and we should have him on the show sometime.
Ooh, okay. I'll have to make a new graphic for guests. Tony says hello.
Hello.
Hi, Tony. Yeah.
Was that it?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
So far.
Okay, so yeah. So Marvel comic news. Well, first of all, not comic news. Shang-Chi trailer came out. I'm sure you guys saw it.
I did. I'm not sure if Ashley saw it. No.
I'm not interested.
How dare not be interested in a Marvel movie?
I'm sorry.
There's a few Marvel movies that have been off of our radar list where we were like, we'll see it if we can.
I watched the Avengers. That's about it.
Most movies I have to either force her to watch or like get her on a good day.
Right. Yeah. I still haven't seen Black Panther, so like.
Oh, you need
expect me to know who the heck Shang-Chi is. Like, I read about Black Widow, Kitty Pryde, and Poison Ivy. You know.
The day we get like a Kitty Pryde Marauders movie would be like, mwah, chef kiss.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Marauders would be a pretty cool series. Especially for Ashley. Really cool. You're getting pirates and superheroes all in one.
That's true.
Her unit, her core things.
Well, I, unlike Ashley, grew up on the old martial arts flicks, so I was pretty excited about it. I have to admit, though, I haven't read a lot of Shang-Chi. There wasn't a lot of him when I was growing up and stuff. I mean, he was there, here and there, but he was never, like, the front of the comic racks, you know? That's what I like about that they're doing this kind of stuff, bringing these people.
I can agree with that. Like, I've never heard of it, even though I didn't watch the trailer. It's neat that they're making movies that isn't just all Captain America, Hulk. Like, it's nice to see these other characters.
I recently bought the first 10 issues of the Eternals for, like, practically nothing. Because they just weren't a big deal. Now they're going to be, but...
Tony writes in, it's okay, and also he writes, hopefully I will be another Guardians, or it will be another Guardians. So hopefully the movie will be like Guardians, where people kind of underassume it. This is what I'm taking from his comment. People like underassume it, and then it just skyrockets in popularity.
Yeah.
To me, it looks like what the Iron Fist show should have been.
Yes. Okay. I can agree with that. What you mean by that is good.
Yeah. Is that guy the Mandarin?
Yes, so, I don't know from the trailer. I watched the trailer while I was hiking with my son and tried to watch the volume real low because I was in the woods, didn't want to disturb the wilderness.
Right.
But as soon I saw the trailer was out, and I was like, we got to stop for a second. I got to watch this. So I don't know if in particular in the trailer showed the Mandarin, but I know that the Mandarin is going to be in this one, the real Mandarin. So they're going to kind of fix the Iron Man 3 problem there.
Yeah, but he was in Iron Man 3. He was an actor playing a character named the Mandarin,
Right.
Which
Right.
I will still hold today, to this day, that I'm fine with what they did in that movie for the context of that movie.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I forgive that movie not for that part of it because I'm never gonna forgive that part of it. But I liked the PTSD element of that movie.
Yes. Actually, yeah, that WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier now have all very much showed very accurately, to my knowledge, things like grief and PTSD, and those heavy subjects that you really don't see from media these days. And let's
the aftermath of
yes,
being a superhero.
Which let's steer the conversation towards Falcon and the Winter Soldier. By the time we're streaming this, the last episode is not yet aired, so let's talk about the series. Who wants to lead this?
Sure, I'll lead it. So, I was talking to a friend recently who this was right around the time the 4th episode came out, and he hadn't watched the 4th episode yet, and I kind of gave him a little bit of like a whoa, episode 4, and he said, I'm just not really into the show yet. And for me, I loved it from the beginning, but what really got me was in episode 3 once Madripoor was featured. That really got me. But then he messaged me back like shortly after and said that he watched episode 4, and he said he was in it now. The end of episode 4 really, I think, was the big changing point for that show, I would say. But for me, episode 5 is where they really drove home the emotional impact with Isaiah Bradley's conversation. And then shortly after that scene, they hit you again with Falcon talking to the Winter Soldier about apologizing. They kind of went into the AA explanation there of there's a sort of mythology about AA that one of the steps is you have to just go around saying sorry to everyone, but that's actually not what it is. It's all about atoning. So you apologize to them, sure, but it's about asking them what you can do to rectify all of your past things, and that's sort of the speech that Falcon gave him there. Ashley?
I really like the Bucky show. I have to say that because every week I'm like, can we watch Winter Soldier? And Frank's like, Falcon and Winter Soldier? And I'm like, yeah, I'm so used to saying Winter Soldier, but I like this show. I'm like really upset that there's only one episode left because I'm like, that's it? Like, come on. Like, you had me so hooked with this, and I can't wait for the next episode. But to be honest, I don't remember much from the last episode because I was super bored. The only thing that I really remember is that conversation with Isaiah. I thought that was amazing and just so important and wonderful, and like I loved that was there. But other than that, I felt like it was just kind of like a lot of, compared to the past episodes, it was so calm, I guess.
It did. Down a lot.
So it was strange. It was a strange change of pace. It's not that I disliked it. I was just, I was like, this is slow. But overall, I love what they've done. I love Carly, and I love like why she's doing what she's doing. Like I feel like everything in the show is very relevant to real life and very important, and it's kind of cool to see that and see these superheroes, these fictional characters that we love, like also dealing with these things. And it's, I don't know, there's something nice about it in a way. So I mean, I can't wait for next week. I'm loving it.
Yeah, me too. Frank?
So I do my usual post-episode delving into people digging deeper and finding the little things, Easter eggs and such. So I was...
Val?
Not just Val. I was actually delighted... I figured Isaiah Bradley was some relevant hero in the comics, and he was Captain America. I didn't know his nephew was also a hero called the Patriot, I believe.
I believe he's in the Champions.
Gotcha. Okay. And the other one that I didn't even realize, which I was pretty excited about, was not excited because I knew the character, excited at the possibility, was Joaquin Torres, who is Sam's contact, who's a Falcon.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Because, they emphasize these characters, they show them, and you think they gotta be important. Isaiah Bradley, obviously very important to the story they're telling and the history of Captain America as a symbol, as an allegory for racism and all that stuff in the show, and just the difference in people being treated. But to see that they are actually bringing these characters that people like me who don't know about, to possibly set them up as future characters, future heroes, costumed heroes, would be just fantastic. I'm excited for it. And I'm confused about Val, because I don't know what they're going to do with her.
There's so much they could do with her. I think for anyone watching who's watching the show but doesn't know a lot about the character, Val's been around for a long time. She was a love interest of Nick Fury back when Nick Fury was more Hasselhoff than... and she's been all over the place. She's constantly been a traitor. So she's worked with Hydra. She's actually been Madam Hydra.
But that was a cover-up to infiltrate and take them down.
Yeah, and she worked with Leviathan. So she's been all over the place. I thought, my initial thought was that they were going to kind of use her as part of this sort of almost like Amanda Waller, Nick Fury type assembling of the Thunderbolts, but with, what's his name, Zemo going to the, what's it called at the end of the episode? The raft. I think they'll probably use Thunderbolt Ross there to be the puppet master behind starting that group. In the comics, it was Zemo who started the Thunderbolts. It was after a big comic event, the Avengers and I think the Fantastic Four were all presumed dead. So he was like, he got the Masters of Evil together and he said, why don't we just pretend we're a bunch of superheroes and make the world love us, but we'll still be bad guys. And it was a lot of fun.
Okay.
He changed his name to Citizen V. And that's, I don't know if you've ever heard of Songbird, but she used to be the villain screaming Mimi, and she changed it to Songbird. Because what happened in the Thunderbolts line was a lot of them said, hey, the superhero thing's kind of cool, and they just stayed that way. So
I'm like curious what they're gonna like do, because like Tony's saying, there's a lot to wrap up this Friday, and it's like there is, and I'm like, how are they gonna do it? Are they gonna be able to fit everything? Are they gonna bring some of this stuff into the movies? Are they gonna do like more spin-off shows of like other characters? Because like, now we got this evil Captain America, Mr. Walker, and like he's off the rails. So, like, is he going to show up in a future movie? Or, like, where's he going to go? And then, like, Val's the lady I said could kick me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, she just showed up and, like you were saying, what's she gonna do? Like, who is she gonna be? And what's gonna happen with Carly? So I'm like...
Power broker. There's so many questions.
Right.
Which Tony says Sharon is the power broker.
Yeah.
Really?
I don't buy it.
I don't buy it either. I think maybe she's either working in tandem with the power broker or trying to take the power broker down. I don't think she is, but it's a good theory. You could prove us wrong, Tony.
It definitely could be.
I don't like her.
I feel like there's going to be more to that story than just her being the power broker. I don't think we're going to get all the answers on Val in this series.
There's no way.
We might get a little more about her, but that'll be it. I think they'll wrap up the John Walker to a degree, but his character certainly isn't going to be done after this. I hope they don't just turn him into like a Badrick type who just is a bad guy that appears here and there, and he gets a little more of a bigger role in a future movie or show.
That's so funny you mentioned Batroc.
The Thunderbolts. Maybe, I mean, the Thunderbolts didn't have him, but he could very well, you know.
I'm sure they'll toss up a team.
Characters, yeah.
Yeah. Which, Tony, as you mentioned, Batroc literally posted she got Batroc out of prison, which is true. She did. I mean, she's got some dealings with the under or upper part of that area.
She certainly knows more about the power broker than she's letting on.
Yes.
But that I feel like she's still trying to get her way back into working with the government. So I think she's doing a lot of backside dealings to try and bring everyone down.
Definitely.
But it's tough to tell.
Tough to tell. We'll find out Friday, and by the next podcast we'll be like, oh my god, Tony was right, or we were all wrong, or...
Yeah, it's probably gonna turn out to be the Wizard. No, I'm kidding.
He was in Jessica Jones. I don't think they can use him again.
You surprised me with that on one of the earlier episodes.
Yeah. But, so the Thunderbolt theory, was it named after General Ross?
I don't think so.
Okay. Because I know...
I don't think he had anything to do with it at first.
I know he's showing up in the Black Widow movie.
Okay.
I think de-aged, I believe. I don't know if it's how de-aged or what time period he's taking place in. But I know in the comics he becomes Red Hulk.
Yep.
And I know he has been...
part of the U.S. Avengers, I know that.
Yeah, but he, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he has been the one to sort of be the military spearhead on the Super Soldier Project, which ended up in the Abomination, which I think is still kicking around somewhere in the world. He's just... I don't think he died. I think he's just existing.
The Hulk was an abomination itself, so... No, it was a great movie. I just don't count it, even though I should. I just don't count it, because it was it.
Clearly they don't count it because Betty Ross isn't in any of the frickin' MCU films.
What the hell?
Yeah, that's right.
But her dad is.
Yeah, and it was William Hurt, too, right? In
both.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's the only consistent, actually. Even the Hulk isn't the same Hulk, but...
That's true.
You got him.
Tony says that I believe he thinks that a new Cap movie would be made with Sam, which I'd be down for.
Yeah, I'd definitely be down for that.
I am very much not looking forward to Bucky's big conversation with the father.
I can't wait.
Oh, yeah, no, that's going to be an emotional...
I cannot wait. I'm so proud of my boy.
Episode?
What's that?
You mean with the father from the first episode?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but look look how far Bucky has come in such a short time. Like, he couldn't do it at first. He thought about doing it and he couldn't. And now he's going to do it, and I'm so proud of it.
He stuck to his list because he had the gun.
That's hard. That's hard to do.
He had the gun to Zemo, and he clicked, and he dropped all the bullets from his hand. First,
I say that's hard to do as if I know what it's like to go to someone and be like, I'm so sorry I killed your son. But, like, I mean, how can you imagine that? But, like, can you, like, that's such a big thing for Bucky to do, and I feel like it's just going to give him so much freedom, and this boy just needs that freedom to, like, be happier in his life.
Yeah. He needs that closure. That
Yes.
They both need that closure, rather. And
well, that's what these shows are for, I think, to really wrap up some of the emotional, side stories there.
But in completing his sort of list of people he needs to apologize to or make amends for, I hope he knows, or he gets the feeling that Cap is proud of him for the Bucky he is, for his friend sticking it out, and because he always believed in him, just like he said to Sam, if he was wrong about you, then he was wrong about me, which is I thought was very powerful of a line for his character.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Now... the end of Carly's story is going to be a gut punch, too.
Yeah. Like, what direction do you think this is going to go in?
Either she's going to die.
Right.
I hope not.
Or her bad guy status is only going to elevate.
Okay.
I think that's the only two ways that they go with her character. My guess is she's going to die.
I also think she's going to die. I just hope she dies doing the right thing.
Maybe a sacrificial thing. I think Sam's going to go in there again and talk her down from whatever thing she's planning to do now. Because that has also been a big motif, is connecting and actually talking, communicating with someone, and kind of making everyone on the same level and view things sort of in this kind of from their point of view. And I hope they don't just say, oh no, she's just evil for the sake of being evil now, because that won't feel justified.
Maybe she'll end up helping them against U.S. agent there.
That's true.
Or, John Walker.
Yeah.
Jumping the gun on the U.S. agent thing.
Mr. Captain Cosplayer.
And with the end of the last episode, when I was watching it with Frank, when Sam opens, like, the box, Frank's like, oh, it's probably a pair of new wings. And I was like, really? And I'm just curious what your thought was, Mike.
Wait, what?
And Sam, the Falcon, opens up the box from Wakanda.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think it is?
Did we come out of left field with this question?
Yeah. It's clearly going to be a bird, because in the comics he has a real falcon.
Queen Soda, by the way.
Wings make sense. Some new.
Okay. You didn't have, like, a thought of what it could be, though?
What was your initial thought?
I guess I got jumbled there, and I thought it was the shield.
Okay.
Oh, a new shield.
So...
But he has the shield.
Right, but...
It's not a new shield, no.
You don't think it could be a new shield? Ashley thinks.
So that was my first thought, because I was like, oh my god, what do you think it is? And he was like, it's probably new wings. And I was like, I think it's a new shield. Because for some reason, it just brought me back. I know this isn't Sam's thoughts, but when he had to talk with Isaiah, and he was like, even if I had the opportunity to walk around in that suit, I wouldn't want to carry those stars and stripes around, like. So I was like, maybe they had a shield made for, like, Sam or something.
Okay.
Not that Sam has a problem wielding Steve's shield, but it was just, because Bucky had this made for him, right? Like, it was a gift from Bucky.
Yeah.
So I was like, what could Bucky have given him? So I'm wondering if it's a shield. That was my thought.
Could be both.
Could be both.
Tony says not big enough for a shield.
Okay.
Okay.
I will counter with that Wakandan technology.
So.
Yeah.
It expands. Okay.
Yeah, like. Oh, he says armor. That's true. Could be a full suit.
Yeah. Could be Captain America's shoes that he left behind during the Infinity War.
Could be a nice pair of socks.
Could be. Could be an invitation to the annual Wakandan ball.
Oh my God, it's a new Red Wing.
Yeah.
Because Bucky always hated Red Wing.
Did Bucky?
And now they're like friends.
Bucky did not like Red Wing.
Bucky and Nat did not like Red Wing.
It's, there's obviously a reason for it.
That's actually a good theory. Well, so I was kind of right in the first place when I said it's a bird.
Your joke could have been.
That's what made me think of it. I was like, wait, it is a bird.
Tony, a new ass for America.
I mean, that's,
They already have John Walker.
Oh,
no,
he is an ass.
We don't need his flat ass.
His square jaw.
Oh, God.
Maybe it's Silk.
Oh, my God. Imagine if it was Cindy Moon.
Oh, God.
Every comic story needs. Like, I thought when Wanda went into the neighbor's basement there, it's going to be Silk.
Oh, yeah. Silk stuck in that room.
Yep.
She's in every single show. You just gotta find her.
Yeah.
Well, this is where we reach out to CB and demand that he collaborate with these MCU folks in their Disney Plus shows and get Silk into the shows.
That was my first appearance, Silk comic there.
Nice.
Rated 9.8.
Looking very nice.
Fancy.
And I had these guys the other day, too.
Oh.
Ooh. Very nice.
Is that Valkyrie?
No, it's Snowguard.
Oh, Snowguard.
She's new. She's, like, literally done very little in the comics, but I love her anyway. And I keep rooting for more of her. She's a new Silk for me, basically. Keep saying, do more with this character. And I already had the first appearance of when I saw that they had these variant editions where it had her name going across two covers, and I decided to pick it up.
I like that.
She's cool.
So Falcon and the Winter Soldier will be wrapping up Friday. Then we've got a big stretch of time before a show starts up again.
Yeah. You were right, though. There is 3 movies this year.
It is 3? It's Black Widow, Shang-Chi, and Spider-Man? Eternals. Okay, Spider-Man got moved to next year. Which I think finished filming recently. Don't quote me on that.
Won't.
But I know Alfred Molina's in it, which I'm excited about.
Really?
Yeah, coming back as Doc Ock. I don't know what version of Doc Ock, but he is going to be a Doc Ock.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Because this is going to be potentially multiversal.
Now I know we're talking about movies, but you have me looking up Snowguard. Is she like Inuit?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking and I'm like, huh.
She's awesome. She's really cool.
Oh.
Yeah, she looks cool.
Tony, December for Spider-Man? Is that what you're saying? Is that still confirmed?
I can do a quick check.
Am I wrong on Eternals then? Do I have that mixed up?
What's the new Spider-Man movie called?
No Way Home. Which I like that they kept the home theme
Yes.
for the 3 movies.
I thought it was going to be Home on the Range.
It is December.
It is. Oh, okay. So you and Tony both can confirm. Thank you.
But Eternals is also this year.
Oh, it is. Okay, so we got
so
four.
four.
Yes.
So Black Widow is June?
July.
Okay, so Loki is June.
Yep.
So we've got nothing from April, May. Nothing in May?
Oh, but we'll have plenty to talk about, guys.
Will we? Can we talk about video games?
Yeah, we can talk about video games.
Resident Evil comes out in May, and I am so excited.
We could
The
talk.
comic books come out every week, so.
That's true.
That's true. I could.
And we can do like a little like adventure of like during the downtime. Let's all watch something and discuss.
Okay.
That's true. We could do that.
Now I have a question for
Ash
you.
could watch some of the old movies that she hasn't.
I'm gonna watch Black Panther. Frank hasn't seen it either, so.
So good.
Yeah.
You're gonna root
all right.
Hunger.
Let There Be Carnage.
Venom. That's a Venom movie. Yep.
Wait, coming out this year?
That comes out to September.
September. Not technically part of the MCU, except it might kind of sort of be.
Parallel with it a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
because I'm looking at the list here, and that's on there for this year, and I was like, huh, that hasn't come up.
Whenever Sony does a Spider-Man adjacent movie, I'm excited because I know that they have, believe they have the Silk property, so maybe she'll show up.
And Tony makes a good point. Morbius is out this year, which is what I was about to say. Should be out this year, but Morbius has Adrian Toomes, aka the Vulture from the Spider-Man movies, who's in the MCU.
Yep.
Which hopefully there's some sort of Sony crossover happening, maybe with this whole multiversal thing with the No Way Home.
I think that it'll be like they're not gonna clash into each other too much, but just enough. And I like that personally. I mean, when you're reading the comic books, you have certain people writing certain books in different styles all over the place, and I'm cool with that. I'm cool with seeing MCU Spider-Man do his thing, and I'm cool with seeing the side characters over at Sony having their own universe.
It feels exactly like the comic books, like how you can pick up this series, this trade, and they're all connected, but then you've got the Ultimate Universe, which is their own thing, which is something I'm very much commending the DCEU right now. As much as I didn't care to see the Joker, I'm glad that they have that's a standalone movie, and then they've got a new Batman movie coming out starring Robert Pattinson as Batman, and that's going to be its own standalone thing. That's Batman Year 2 inspired. And then you've got your Suicide Squad movies, which is kind of their own thing, and I like that. I like to see, because there's so much focus nowadays on things being connected, which is great. I love it. I love things being connected. But also, there's a bunch of comic books that aren't connected. Yeah.
And even the Spider-Man himself, like, I mean, you go to the shop on Wednesday and pick up Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and then the next week pick up Amazing Spider-Man, and it's the same character, but it's two totally different worlds, you know?
Yeah.
Not literally two different worlds. They're all 616, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. And, I mean, I'm a proponent of, trying to get more into the Spider-Verse movies, too. Because I like the animated stuff being its own separate thing as well. Yeah. And Tony says, you could do a watching of the 1970s Spider-Man series if you're brave enough. The 70s, is that the one where the meme of the pointing comes from? The two Spider-Mans pointing at each other?
Listen, I haven't even seen Black Panther, so...
What we could watch is the great animated series Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, starring Iceman and Firestar. And it's bad, very bad animation. It's let's save a lot of money on animation.
It's all good stuff, if you ask me.
Oh, that was the 60s cartoon, he says.
Yeah, that was the 60s. That's what I was thinking, but I wasn't sure.
We could watch the animated movie. It's like The Punisher and Black Widow.
We could watch that.
That's a good one.
Speaking of Punisher, one of my favorite Zemo storylines was recent, and it was him against the Punisher. It was insane. I don't even remember how, but like Hydra pissed off the Punisher somehow. And Punisher just went after Zemo like relentlessly. And it wasn't even like, there was no arc where the bad guy was getting the upper hand. It was just issue after issue of Punisher embarrassing Zemo and his crew. It was really great. It was so fun.
Wow,
I think he was Punisher War Machine at that point.
Oh.
Yeah, it was fun.
Jeez. I'd definitely be down to watch the Punisher and Black Widow show, or a movie rather, the animated film.
Where do you even find that?
That's a great question.
Is it on Disney Plus?
I'd have to do some research because I watched it back in high school. I remember being homesick one day and I saw Black Widow and I put it on and it was actually really good. So I'll have to look it up and see, and maybe we can talk about that on our May hiatus of no new Marvel shows.
Very true.
Yeah. We'll pick something new each week in May to either watch or just something.
Or you can tell us what we have to watch.
Oh, okay.
I'm just looking at what's on Disney Plus.
And give us suggestions, and if there's good ones, we'll try and do it. And they don't have to be good; they can be bad.
Oh God.
There is a lot of content on Disney Plus.
We'll do some research.
Yeah.
We'll see what we can find, but.
Some comic news. They're doing a new kind of iteration of What If. And that started, I think it started last week, or it's this week maybe. It's called, the first one is going to be Spider-Man, Spider's Shadow. And it's actually a What If story that's been done before, where it's just about him not letting go of the black Spidey suit. But this isn't going to be, they're doing it different this time, where it's actually like a short run. So I think it's like 4 issues of that story instead of just 1 issue per story. But it's going to be a new kind of What If. And I think that's the exciting thing about it, whether you're interested in that storyline or not, is that I think they're going to start doing a lot more What Ifs again. And they have a couple other ones coming out this year that are also What If-y, but they're not actually part of the What If line. They're doing a storyline called Heroes Reborn, and it's going to be what if the Avengers never came together? And it just changes everybody's lives. And I think the big thing for comic fans is they're going to get into Hyperion and how he came about. But it also shows like Spider-Man is, Peter Parker is the Shutterbug, and there's a new young team with Kamala Khan in it that's different. So everyone gets affected, and they're all going to have their own kind of story arc with that. So that should be interesting. And then they're doing Fantastic Four Life Story, which I know I've talked to you, Frank, about when they did Spider-Man Life Story, where it kind of went through the decades, where if Spider-Man actually started in 1963 when his comic came out, and then he aged. So they're doing that with Fantastic Four now. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we know it's been confirmed that the director of the Spider-Man Home series is doing a Fantastic Four movie.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Supposedly, the rumored villain is Kang the Conqueror.
Okay. I would like that.
Which, I don't know, Ashley, do you know who Kang the Conqueror is?
Nope.
He sort of looks almost like, Comic Apocalypse-ish, but he's like a distant future relative of Reed Richards, I think? Is that correct, Mike?
Don't know.
Oh, I think that's correct.
I'll take your word for that. I know Kang very well because he shows up in a lot of comics, but I got to admit I don't know much of his origin. He was the last thing I think I read with him in it was he was hanging out with Doctor Doom in the Doctor Doom series. He was kind of coming up and being his moral compass, which is weird because Kang the Conqueror.
Would you say he's a little bit Kangas Kong.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He's a time. That's right, Tony. He is a time traveler. Yeah, he's from the
Yes.
future, and I think at any given point in time, don't quote me on this, but I think there's like so many of him running around at different points in time that at one point there's like a bunch of him in like a pocket reality. I think so, sort of, cosmic jargon. But yeah, I think he keeps trying to like alter the timeline. And I mean, I would love to see them do him because I know characters like that in the past that we've gotten, like Apocalypse and Galactus the Cloud, we've gotten before, have been very lackluster. But I'm confident, especially now with what they've been doing at Disney Plus, that we're on it. The MCU's been consistently good. There's been a few not as well made movies. The majority.
Thor: Dark World.
Thor: The Dark World has a great Loki story, and the rest of it is garbage.
Loki's in it, so it's Loki and Frigga exist for.
I thought it was a perfectly fine movie, but it is probably the weakest, or one of the weakest.
I think The Incredible Hulk may take my personal cake for the weakest.
It doesn't even count. It's not
That's
even
why you don't count it, so it's obviously the weakest. That and I had most of Age of Ultron was garbage.
It's got so many redeeming factors, though.
It does.
Jarvis in it.
It has Jarvis and Vision. It has the introduction of Wanda
Right,
and Pietro,
Scarlet
which I love. But the rest of it, I could, it.
Yeah.
We could just imply that movie happened, but if I have to view
Yes.
it again, I'd rather not. Unless
I
it's.
also liked Ultron.
I liked Ultron too, and I liked, like many of the. It started, more villains were very focused on Tony Stark, and
That's what when it came out, I didn't love it. Because at that point, I was sick of Tony Stark's robots.
yeah, well, his robots, people personally offended by him, like Whiplash and Obadiah Stane as Ironmonger, and like that Aldrich Killian.
And I've grown to like because they've branched out in so many different directions. I've come to like accept that, but it still was a little too Tony Stark centric for me. The entire universe. I mean, even Spider-Man's wearing an Iron Man suit, and which happened in the comics. I won't say. I think in Civil War. But yeah, there's a lot of Iron Man doing everything in those movies.
When Spider-Man came out, that was actually my like bell curve of when I started accepting and liking the fact that things were Tony related. I appreciated the Vulture's connection and history with the fact that S.H.I.E.L.D. and Tony basically took his job away from him, and he was just a blue-collar city worker, just trying to do his job, and he said, you know what, I'm gonna stake my claim, I'm gonna take this technology, this alien technology, I'm gonna make some allies and make some cool weapons and sell them under the radar, and he was good, and he's one of the few villains that, I think, villains that they kept alive, which I also appreciate. As much as I like seeing a villain get their comeuppance, and I do like deaths, but I also... There are so many villains that, they're just there and gone, and they could, like, use them again. Like Zemo, they brought him back. I love it. I'm still waiting... As much as I didn't like the Incredible Hulk movie, I'm waiting for Abomination to show up again just to be like, hey, I'm alive. Even if he's just in the raft, I would appreciate that.
Well, the old joke in comic books is, right?
No one stays dead, except for Uncle Ben.
And?
Batman's parents?
Batman?
Well, that works, but in Marvel, it's Uncle Ben and Bucky Barnes, and that one turned out to not be true at all.
Oh.
But it was for a while.
Yeah. And yeah, Ultron should have been scarier. Yeah, I mean, if sticking to comic book accuracy, yes, he could have been scarier, but for what they did and what they were going for, I was
like that he wasn't. Whenever the robot is the bad guy in a movie, he's so cardboard and he's a robot. That I like that he was jokey and
yeah.
He had a personality.
Yeah, and
literally he uploaded the personality into him.
And I think it's unanimous from the three of us that we can all agree that we do like character development and actual personality, like Carly, like Zemo, like my person, like Vulture. We like Loki. We like these villains. I know, Ashley, you don't associate Loki as a villain, but he technically, yes, he is a villain. But these are the villains that, like, you kind of want to root for. And you can kind of see their point of view, and you can get behind what they're doing, even if you don't want them in the end to win. You kind of want to root for their journey, what they're doing. You want to see it play out. And I very much so want to see Loki's kind of good, kind of bad adventure through his personal timeline shenanigans in the Loki show.
That's gonna be.
Yeah. It's like my favorite things combined, like shenanigans and time travel, comic book stuff, and the action, and I think all of it's coming together. And Ashley gets Loki for 2 seasons. 2 seasons. None of the shows have 2 seasons yet. I think Loki and What If are the only 2 shows with 2 seasons.
And fun fact, Loki was my second cosplay ever when I was just a wee bab.
That's right.
When does What If come out? I'm still trying to... Summer 2021?
I don't think it's confirmed for this year. Not to my knowledge. It could come out this year. Maybe it is after Loki. But I haven't heard any... Like, you think you would have seen a trailer by now or something? I guess we've seen teasers in the past.
It still does say 2021.
I'm looking for that, too. A lot.
And
it's gonna be good.
Yeah. I like the concept of, like, the what ifs.
I love those books, man. The what ifs. They're so wacky.
Is there an episode that has been teased that you guys are excited about?
For What If?
Yeah.
I don't know much about what the episodes are going to go through.
How about
I haven't looked into it too much.
Do you know anything about it, Ash?
I think I'm just more concerned that I'm going to want to cosplay Peggy Carter as Captain America.
That's the one I'm excited about, where Peggy gets the super soldier serum, and Steve gets like a very old school sort of Iron Man armor built by Howard. And it's like, what if Peggy was Captain America or Captain Britain? I think it's one or the two. That's one of the few we know that's happening. That, and I think the other one is, what if Black Panther went with the Guardians or went to space? Because I see him with the orb from the opening scene of Guardians of the Galaxy, and you see him walking in with the helmet, and helmet goes down. It's Chadwick Boseman's animated face, and he gets the orb, and it's like, ooh, what are they gonna do with that? And I know one correlates to every movie. I'm not sure if they've confirmed if they're related to the Spider-Man movies, but I would like to see a what if based on the Sony Spider-Man film as well.
Yeah, I think they said that they didn't want to do like one episode to each movie, so it's like to make sure that every movie gets in there. Sometimes there's like 2 or 3 going into one show, sort of thing. So
okay,
I'm sure that Spider-Man will get in there somewhere.
Okay,
but maybe not, because I think a lot of that would have to do with his contract, right? Because they only have him for a select number of films, and if they don't want to use that up on a cartoon kind of thing.
I gotta think that they're gonna try and he's gonna try and get back for more movies, because he's Spider-Man.
Yeah. He's fighting for it, you know that.
Oh, absolutely. In a perfect world, we would see Sony and Disney work together to keep making properties where they both owned whatever percentages they currently own, and everyone makes money.
We just have to ask them.
Yeah.
Oh,
we can make it happen.
Yeah, we got Silk back.
We can make it happen.
Now we need to focus on Snowguard in the comics, Spider-Man in the movies.
Yes.
Quick, Ashley, what do you want to happen?
What?
Well, he wants Snowguard. I want Spider-Man in the MCU. What do you want? CB's got to get on this.
Oh, yeah, I'll take a Kitty Pryde Martyrs movie.
All right, CB, everyone, Kevin Feige, you've heard it here. I know you're all listening. Tony may be the voice of the chat, but we know CB and Kevin Feige are at least somewhat, scoping us out. So
Tony is actually the alter ego of all of the higher ups at Marvel.
Oh my God.
There we go.
We figured it out, Tony.
So you've heard our call. Just get on that. Even if it just takes like 6 months, do what you gotta do. We appreciate you.
Guard solo series. Spider-Man
in the MCU and Kitty Pryde Marauders.
And the Marauders, or just Kitty Pryde Pirate in the movies. I think.
Or more Kitty Pryde in general.
Yeah.
Just
Fair
more.
enough.
A Kitty Pryde. Oh, Kitty Pryde series. Love it.
I'll take it. Whatever you gotta do, I'm here.
Oh, Tony, we're on to you. He can't confirm or deny anything, but we're on to him.
Yeah,
that's very true.
But until next time, true believers.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, we will see you guys next week for the finale of Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah. We will talk about the finale of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We will talk about more comic books, I'm sure.
I'll find out more Easter eggs for you guys.
And I'll talk about Pokemon Snap.
That comes out? Oh my God.
Oh, hey, the next time we stream, it'll be Frank's birthday, so...
Oh my God, that's right.
Cool.
A birthday
Stay
stream.
tuned for that.
When his superpowers kick in.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Well, we'll
Be here next week to find out.